Do I look tired? Good! Up all night, but I finally beat Zelda. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Now, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword has a lot to live up to. There are a lot of Zelda games out there, and everyone likes all of them. Even the side-scroller one, which was absurdly hard. That game's dead, let me tell you. Now, in Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, Link, Zelda, all of them, they live up in a place called Skyloft. It's like, you know, floating pieces of land, like on Avatar. Yeah, and they all live up there, you know, life is good. They fly around on their birds, which is really fun to do in the game. Seriously, you fly around on this bird, you can, like, dive bomb the bird, you can jump off the bird, and then do, like, you know, the Iron Man, you know, when he just goes vertical and he just goes straight down, he picks up G-force, you call your bird back, you hop back on him. Dude, I could do this for hours. You got no horse named Epona, but you do have a bird named Bird. And of course, this evil's coming back, and now Zelda and Link, they have to fulfill their destinies, and now we have our Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword game. So how is the game? Well, we'll talk about the controls first. The controls in this game are actually really cool. You need the Wii Motion Plus controller, and you move this controller around, and you see Link like just pivot his sword exactly how your controller is. That's awesome. I was like, that is right there, man. And some enemies out there, they'll block like this, so you can only slash them that way. And I really like that. That's some sword play right there. But is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. Sometimes, man, I was slashing sideways. I'm like, clank. Why aren't you hitting him? Clank. Please hit him. I still don't know why it wasn't just, I was hitting him where it should go. So yeah, you run into those kind of scenarios. And there's this one enemy in this game, dude, of all the Zelda games that I've played, this enemy in here is my least favorite. I hate him more than anything. He looks like the head of a totem pole. He just kind of hops around. You have to like hit two crystals on him. One you can slash, the other you have to stab. And I was stabbing, and it was telling me I wasn't stabbing. And after you screw up the stab when he does a slash when he should have been doing a stab, the thing stomps on you like a total douchebag. It's just, I hate him. Because in the end, I end up looking like this. Stab him! There are these other guys I hate. They're these lizards that have like armor on one side. For some messed up reason, they were so hard to hit. It's just like clank, and then they'll uppercut you and taunt. They taunt. After they uppercut you and totally floor you, they'll bounce back and they'll be like, they really look like that. I'm not messing with you. In which case, I get really frustrated and I end up being like, just hit him! It's not the brightest moment in my life, but it happened. Other than that, the controls are actually really good. And it actually, you know, when it kind of gets off center, you can just center it with the down button. You're like, oh, okay, now I'm back to center. That's awesome. Some games don't have that function. I'm surprised there's not more that do. And in classic Legend of Zelda styles, these dungeons are absurdly hard. Some puzzles, you're like, I solved that. That's awesome. That's how it should be. It was hard and I solved it. That's why I'm smart. Others, you just kind of feel like, because you just can't figure it out. But you eventually do, and all is right in the world of Zelda. Now, I'll say this, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but Zelda games, for me, are slow until you get past the first dungeon. I don't know what it is about that first dungeon. It's like sitting in traffic while waiting to go to a really sweet concert. And you're sitting there in the traffic or on the first dungeon, and you're just like, come on, just get there already. But then you get there, and it's awesome, and you walk out of the concert, and you're like, I'm not even thinking about the traffic. So much more has happened since the traffic or the first dungeon, metaphorically speaking. I'm not even thinking about it. It has been so awesome since then. Alright, so as someone who really likes a good character-driven story, I have to give this game all sorts of props. They did a really good job with the characters in this game. I just remember like Twilight Princess. Zelda and Link really didn't have anything going on whatsoever. She was just kind of a chick, and then she was gone, and then you're on your adventure. In this one, Link and Zelda have a relationship, and then throughout the adventure, you see them grow. And I really like that. They do a good job at that. You know, these two are young, they just want to have their life, but their destiny is huge and is bigger than whatever relationship they might have. And he steps up to it. They do a really good job. At a point, I was like, Link is like Harry Potter. He's that young kid who's kind of forced into a situation, but he steps up. He's like, all right, no, you know what? I guess this is how it has to be. And if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna face the guy who's gonna do it to me. A couple of times, dude, I was like, yes, he is awesome. And Zelda, at first, she kind of reminded me of the chick from Tangled. You know, she's like this really fun young chick, but by the end, she's like, you know, the Zelda that we all know. More stoic, more serious, you know, because just the gravity of this situation just kind of, it changed them. And the animation does a good job of it too. You actually see their facial expressions, so you know what they're feeling at that moment. Other games, you know, it's just kind of like, they're like plastic mannequin heads that blink sometimes. Not in this game. This game does a good job with the animation. Although it is still a standard def game, and I'm not griping about it. Gameplay, a solid game. If it's like sprites, I'd be fine with it. But we do live in a high def world, and you know, when you see 480i, it's still 480, not 1080. So, you know, lower resolution. And sometimes it just kind of pixelates when you're in the darker dungeons and whatnot, so you kind of notice it, and it irritates you. But you get past it, because you're really stuck on a dungeon, and you don't care about the animation. You just want to solve that puzzle you can't solve. In the end, I ended up playing this game for 56 hours. 56 hours of a Zelda game. I didn't even find all the extra stuff. I found extra stuff as they came. A couple times I was like, all right, I'll find some of these little, little trinkets and whatnot. But all in all, I was just trying to, beat the desert. 56 hours. This is the longest Zelda game I've ever played. But I can say The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword makes all other Legend of Zelda games look like casual gamer games. So great characters, a great story, a great emotional story, a good coming of age story, hours upon hours of solid gameplay when I wasn't being all like, just hit him! Oh, you've done it too. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is Awesometacular. It's like a really good Disney movie, back in their prime where you're like, yeah, it's good for all ages, but damn it, man, if it doesn't hit you right where you live a few times. A couple times I was like, that is one of the most touching things I've seen in a game. Another thing I liked was the music. The music was all orchestrated and it sounded awesome. I mean, some of the music in some of the dungeons, I don't remember at all. I'm not going to remember them. Other music, you're like, that is just great. Like the music when you're flying on your bird, epic. And the theme in Skyward Sword. And funny thing, the theme in Skyward Sword is actually the theme in Ocarina of Time backwards. Yeah, it'll blow your mind. Check this out. Skyward Sword theme forward. And backwards. Yeah, is your mind blown? I know. Like, how do you do that? How can someone take a great song, reverse it, and turn it into a great song? That is genius. So if you played Skyward Sword, what did you think of it? Comment below. Let me know. I'm curious. Or hey, what did you think of the backwards song? Mind blown. Mine was. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't sleep for like 2 days when I saw that. In any case, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.